Told you. Told you. Told you. Told you. You what? God design, God design.
Good evening, board buddies. What's the deal? We done made it back. We survived another week. We here. Thank you for joining. I'm your host. This is the Boerboel Information Exchange, the Boerboel Show, where we talk about everything that you need to know, everything that you need in order to exceed the last generation of Boerboels. We're trying to take your Boerboel to the next level. I'm your host, Jordan Pittman. On this show is here. What we're doing is trying to arm you with data and information to prepare you for the next generation of the Boerboel breeders and give you the tools that you need in order to succeed. Plain and simple, we want the best for the breed. And we are crazy about these dogs. We feel like they're the best dogs on earth that you could possibly have. I love the Boerboels. I'm a Boerboel enthusiast. I'm always with my dogs. I'm a dog man. If you don't know, if you haven't been here with me before, if you don't know who I am, I'm the Boerboel man. I'm the crazy one about these dogs. I love these dogs. I feel like they're the best dogs on earth, the best dog you could possibly have for so many different reasons. And because of that, I choose to breed them. And I have been doing so for over 18 years. We're going on, this is my 18th year now. And because of that, I have went through a bunch of trials and tribulations and obstacles and things that I have to do. And I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to arm you and aid you with all of this information and tools and things that you can use in order to get further with your breeding program and build yourself up and take off. Because these dogs, that's what's getting ready to happen with this breed right now. We're getting ready to take off. And then in my time that I have been involved with these dogs, I have seen a lot of breeders come and go. I've seen a lot of trends come in and fade out. And because of that, I want you to have staying power. I want you to learn from my mistakes, learn from others' mistakes, and then we're going to take this further. It's really all about this Boerboel breed. If you don't know what a Boerboel breed is, the Boerboel is, you better ask somebody. You way late. You sleeping. You slipping. So today's show, we're going to get into a couple of different things. We're not able to get active on Facebook because they knocked us down off of Facebook. We had someone say that report some of our posts. You got to be very mindful of that, but that's all good because we're going to address that. And that's another example of an obstacle. Prepare yourself if you're going to be posting and getting busy on Facebook and getting active and involved with the Boerboel community. If you decide to, often what they'll do is if they don't like what you're saying, it's a censorship type of thing, and they'll block you and ban you. And so what we do is we come up on our own. We develop our own platforms, our own groups, and our own pages. And now what they do, and they want to knock our pages down. And so that's part of the game. But guess what? We're going to deal with that. We're not going to let that stop us. We're not going to let that slow us down one bit. We still here doing what we got to do. We'll download it. They only got to suspend it until tomorrow. So we'll have that. We're going to post this up on Facebook tomorrow, and then you'll be able to catch up what you missed out. And if you missed out on any parts of this, you can always run it back. That's the beauty of the YouTube. It's on demand. So this week, we got the new Boerboel community finally established. I figured it out, y'all, how we're going to do this with the United Boerboel Club. It's up. It's happening. 2024 is our time. So I figured it out. What we're going to do, we're going to have a group, online Boerboel community group, because big thing for me has been, how can I make this exceed what other groups have had in the past? How can we do something extremely positive for the breed that's really going to celebrate the breed and bring out the best dogs, right? So because of that, we are trying to develop something that is very different than what is already established that's not working. We're going to learn from the failures, and the main thing that we wanted to address was a lack of inclusion, with the Boerboel breeders in the Boerboel community and the Boerboel enthusiasts. Many people have reached out. A lot of y'all have reached out. When we're going to open up, we're going to do it right. We're taking our time, but the time is here. and we're going to have this. We want to have everyone involved. We want to get real feedback from the community, and in terms of we want to do things like educate people, give you important things that you need to know, share information back and forth, be an online place and a resource for you to come and get this support that's needed in order to take your game to the next level. Yes, you can learn on your own. Yes, and we're not telling you to let's simply rely on us. This is a place where we're all going to be able to exchange information and go back and forth, new things that we're learning. That's what this is all about. Developing ourselves to get hot, to be better. And so, yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're going with this. The community is going to be on the United Boerboel Club, and it's going to be really nice. You're going to be able to exchange pictures. We can talk about our dogs. You'll be able to find out. And the biggest thing is it's going to be the United Boerboel community. Everybody is there with the sole intention of bringing these dogs together. Now, did you pay your membership dues? If you haven't paid your membership dues for any of the Boerboel organizations, it's January. I saw them putting out notices that this is going to be, it's $120 now. And then, as you know, if you missed that January 31st deadline, guess what? Them fees is increasing. So the late fees and everything, if you got to plan on doing your dogs to the appraisal this year, just hold on. Think about that before you make that step, before you make that decision. It's going to be a close call. This is something that you might want to be involved with. We're going to offer this for free for the first 60 days. You're going to be able to join the community for free. Just activate your membership with the United Boerboel Club, and therefore you will be grandfathered in once we start to charge for new members and existing members. Exotic Boerboel family, naturally, you already is welcome to join. We encourage you to join. You'll be able to look through. We're going to have the link on the UnitedBoerboelClub.com. You can look for that tomorrow. With that being said, we back, y'all. We made it. So we're going to get into the lesson for today. Today we're going to be discussing Rambo and the popular sire syndrome, what that means to the breed-defining characteristics, bloodline characteristics. We're going to give live examples. We're going to open it up for our panel. If anybody wants to join in, you're welcome to join in the discussion. We're going to bring in some special guests. I'm going to copy the link and post it in the chat. And you're welcome to join in if you feel like you just want to leave your 2 cents. You got something to say, you got something of value to add to the conversation. Come on in, and let me post it over here on Instagram too. So you could jump in here on Instagram. And if you want to find out what's going on, you got comments. If you want to make a comment, you want to add your 2 cents in, you welcome. And hey, listen. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, we wasn't allowed to broadcast to the groups on Facebook. Okay, so I got that posted on the Instagram. And so we're going to get into it, y'all. So last week's show, we discussed, did we go into the dog show? We talked about the different dogs at the dog show. We showed some examples of the dog show. Well, this week, we're going to talk about popular sire syndrome. And I think that it's very important to understand because I get a lot of questions about inbreeding in the Boerboel breed. Do I want to breed type? Do I want to breed relatives? Do I want to breed a Balto son to a Balto granddaughter? Do I want to bring? Much love, family? Do I want to breed a Balto? One of the popular sires is Rambo. And how do you arrive at a popular sire? Well, that's traditionally what happens is in a dog show, you have a dog that wins because he's a champion, because he's known to produce. His genetics outproduce other males within the breed, and it affects the gene pool. It reduces when you have inbreeding, where it reduces the fertility and the longevity and the vitality of any breed. And it doesn't just occur with dogs. We're also talking about plants. We're talking about all different animals. We also, even in humans, it has been examples of inbreeding depression, and as a result of you know, mating of related individuals. And because we need to understand this as breeders and enthusiasts and people that are going to be coming into the breed and involved with the breed, you have to understand this, because when you make your selections on your puppies, and if you buy and based on pedigree, there's some risk factors that you need to consider. And I think that a big part of understanding the risk is knowing the information. So we're going to share with you about inbreeding. We're going to share with you about the this dog Rambo. If you don't know who Rambo is, we'll bring him up so everybody can see and get a real feel for. I mean, this dog is very well known within the breed. He produced a Middle Poles Alpha, which is regarded as one of the best Boerboels in the ever. One of the most beautiful dogs. He was famous in like 2000. You know, let me pull him up so I can show you better than I can tell you. Take it here. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna type in okay, so here he is right here. If you haven't seen him, it's free to watch. 2000 when it came out. This was in 2020 when this video dropped. I think the dog is older than that. But this is the son of Bromberg Rambo, supposedly one of the best Boerboels in ever. Very extremely popular Boerboel, substantial size, great angulation. Look at the tail set. Look at the head type, loose. Look at the lips. He's not very, doesn't have excessive wrinkles. Really, really a specimen of the breed, a premier specimen of the breed. Modern evolution of the Boerboel, very different. Really, look at the neck. Look at the neck and the muscles in the neck. Rear angulation is there. Look at the tail set, the way the tail is positioned right here in proportion to the rump. That's also very important. So this is like, and then you see the dog is really it's rated, highly rated. This is a secondary that we don't really even consider, but other people have. Let's see another one. And this is Bite the Bullet. Another one. Well, Rambo, let's get back on subject. Let's get back on subject. Okay. Can y'all hear me? What's going on, family? But like I'm saying, this dog, what happens is when you have a popular sire, everybody seeks him out. Everybody wants to have puppies off of him. Everybody wants to have a dog like that. I mean, that's a beautiful dog. But when you start talking about general populations, when you're talking about overall genes that's contained in the total population of dogs, when you start to eliminate other dogs, when you start to use this popular sire Rambo more often than not, what happens is his genes start to dominate the gene pool. Many more of the offsprings are related to him. And so he's passing on some very desirable traits and characteristics. Yes. But what we don't know is what are the hidden failures of his bloodline? What are the recessive traits and mutations that can arrive once these siblings or relatives end up coming together, because at some point that's what's going to happen. Because we are affecting the numbers of breeding dogs, unbalanced proportion will become related all to this one sire. And it's dangerous, because when you have a breeding program, if all of our dogs, we all breeders in the community working within this gene pool, we only have a limited number of dogs to select from. And then as those dogs age and die off, you're left with a fresh generation that is largely dominated by one certain set of genetics. And that's highly risky, because as these dogs continue to mate and evolve, because you're not breeding outside of this gene pool, when you're talking about a purebred dog, you start to get inbreeding depression. So what is that? That is what happens when, because these genes start to mutate, you get a reduced survival and fertility of offsprings of these related animals. Think about that in human terms. There we go. There go my main man. Gonna bring in a special guest. Savage Kingdom is back. Y'all, we'll let him introduce himself. And what I'm saying though, yeah, we're gonna talk about that, because what's going on with our bro Zach?
Hey, brother Jordan, how you doing? Blessings this evening, brother. How are you?
Thank you for joining, family. I'm well, man. I made it, man, and I'm not complaining. I'm here. I'm blessed, man. You know, it's always good when we get there.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. First and foremost, thank you for letting me join your program today. It's an honor as usual. I appreciate you having me on. I usually like to just sit back and learn some knowledge from you, because I always learn something new.
Man, I'm glad you joined, because it's tough for me, man, you know, to just carry that whole conversation like I'm talking to myself. But I got you here, and this is something that me and you even discussed. So, man, I think it's a treat that you came on. I really appreciate you for coming, man, because this is something that's very, detrimental to it has a big impact on the breed. And we talk about this as breeders, and because we want to produce the best dogs that we possibly can.
Yes,
and then how do we go about doing that? And I think that especially with these Boerboels, so in my experience, from what I know about breeding and selection, is that this practice is applied. So like when you go to genetics, they trying to select certain traits. So we were talking natural selection in cows, we're going to go with the most nutritious milk, the milk that is going to best produce for the calf, that's going to make the calf survive. Whereas when we're breeding artificial selection, we're going to take not necessarily the most nutritious milk. We're looking for volume.
There you go. Got to feed more people.
Right. So it's important to understand breeding, artificial selection, how we choose and make our choices for breeding stock. It's important for us to understand that concept, because it has to have value. We have to be measuring what our selections are producing in order to be able to determine where's the value. So when we don't really have a way to effectively measure the production of the milk with the Boerboel, so to speak.
Yes, yes. Like you were saying, with the natural selection and what we're doing with the selective breeding, trying to get the traits that we most desire. And I got here a little late, so I only caught like the last 5 minutes. But like what you were hinting on, there's all that top layer, all that pretty stuff that everybody wants. But there is something underneath the layer that could be good or bad that we might not know, that could spring up later when you're doing selective breeding. So you're going to get a lot of desirable traits, but just breeding the same animal over and over again, you're going to start to get some of the bad that's in that lineage as well. Whereas in natural selecting, there's more diversity. So when you have that more diversity in the gene pool, you don't double up on negatives, but at the same time, you don't really double up on positives at an accelerated rate.
it becomes difficult to arrive at this desired type or these traits that we find valuable when we don't breed them a certain way.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a good point. So like in other breeds though, you'll see it occur, like with the game pits. We see it occurring with the bullies. You see some really tight breedings, and we got to understand why is that occurring. It's an effort to produce this very specific traits or characteristics. That's what they're trying to do.
I always refer back to those old school pit bull breeders. Those guys were scientists and didn't even know it, with their line breedings and inbreedings, and then knowing at the precise time when to do an outcross and then to bring it back into a specific blood. Those we lost that kind of ability. Those old pit bull guys, they was magicians. And if they were still around and if they were in the Boerboels, we'd be exactly where we want to be at.
Yeah. So, and I think that I'm glad that you mentioned the game bred pit bull guys, because it's important to understand. Okay, so what they do is they got a very strict culling process. And because of this process, they're eliminating the weaknesses. And that's how those dogs evolve to be the only the fittest survive.
I didn't want to say it, but when you do inbreedings and tight line breedings, if you have 10 puppies, you're going to get 4 to 6 magnificent animals, exactly what you want to get. But you might get 4 or 6 just disasters, and those guys would cull them. It's been deemed inhumane to do that nowadays. So now you're just stuck with 4 or 6 terrible dogs that you have to keep alive and pass to somebody else, because we no longer cull dogs like that. The best way to cull them is to spade and neuter them. But those guys dig a ditch and put it in there. And so where there was no chance of you getting a triple or double or quadruple something negative in those breeds, because they would cull a dog fast. And that's
Right,
why
culling
we're
hard,
yes,
hard culling.
hard culling. And that's why we're scared to, a lot of breeders are scared to line breed and inbreed, because if you have 10 puppies and you get 2 or 3 that you really like, and then you get a bunch of total disasters, what do you do with them now? Where do they go? Are they stuck on your yard? Where do they end up in the pound? Where do they go? And so people, that's why there's so many diversity in the breedings now, because nobody wants to. We're afraid to line breed and inbreed. Really, to
Yeah.
be
And I
honest.
think it could be potentially dangerous, because with, like you said, what do we do with those dogs?
What
You
do you
end
do?
up having to, discount them, pass them down, or you want to only produce the very best in this. So you have to maybe you have to rely on someone else to do the responsible thing and
Yep.
eliminate the dog from the gene pool, because it's out of your hands. You only can keep so many dogs, and that's where the risk is very expressed.
But
Because
on
if
the other
somebody
side,
else decides, okay, I got a dog for cheap or a dog for free or a dog for low, now I'm gonna breed the dog and sell puppies and make money, and then we have the population of inferior dogs reproducing.
but on the reverse side of that, not doing it is why we have 4 or 5 different what people say types of Boerboels. You have a Mastiff type, a Bulldog type, a Hound type, and you got a Terrier type, because there's not consistent. And you can have all 4 in one litter. You
Right.
can have all 4 in one litter, because that blood isn't tight, because nobody's inbreeding and line breeding. So on the other end, you're trying to get this specific, you're trying to get a Balto. You're trying to get a Balto, you're trying to get a bad dog, and then you get a taller, skinnier one, or you get one with a small bone or something, and you're still only getting, people aren't looking at it that way, that you're still only getting 2 or 3 out of a litter, that what you wanted to get. So
Right.
it's the same thing, just the other end. It's I'm not going to bring up politics, but one time I'm gonna just say it's just like a Democratic Republican. You got one too far this way and one too far the other way. We got to find a way to kind of get into the middle, with it, because you got bad at one side and you got bad at the other side.
Right. And that's why I think inclusion, though, that's why it's important to have the community and unity within the community. So we know who has what, where these dogs lie within the spectrum. And then we're able to make the proper selections, evaluate them as they grow, and then really find out what we're working with.
And that's why we need a Jordan Pittman to make that happen. That's why
Ah,
we need
well, we
a
working,
Jordan
family.
Pittman to bring these sides together, just like you're doing right now, so we can focus in. That's why your platform is very, not just insightful, but very it's needed. It's needed to bring light to issues like that, because some breeders might talk to each other in private about it, but we need to get more out in the open and figure out how we can all get what everybody wants and how we can get there safely, positively for the breed. And it's not going to happen if everybody's just sticking on to their own thing, doing their own thing over here and over there. And we're afraid to do certain aspects of breeding.
Right. Right, we got to be with it. We like you. I thank you for saying that, man. We got to bring the breed together, man. It is definitely important. It's something that I'm trying to do because I'm after the best dog, and it don't matter who got it. I feel like we need to celebrate the best, and in order for us to do that, we have to know where these dogs are at. We need to be able to have a place where we is a unified platform. I don't know if you caught this part or I mentioned it earlier though. I'm starting to. I got blocked off the Facebook groups. They got me blocked for somebody had hated on one of the posts and reported it. As a sales post. So you got to be careful with that. We can get into that too. So I created this our own personal community for members only, and then we can get on there and just engage in discussions. A school community it's a unite on the United Boerboel Club. I'm gonna post the link sometime tomorrow. We'll be able to go on there. I'm gonna invite you to join. Bring the people. We can bring our people. We can have our discussions. We can post. We can exchange tips, private information, secrets. See, this has really been a struggle for me because I would like to share so much, but I feel like the game is to be sold and not to be told. I've done paid blood, sweat, and tears for years. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I do want to arm my people still. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that we have what we need to succeed.
Yes.
And so that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. We definitely need to bring in, a place where it's not censored, where it's not this real cliquish, where you know how it is on the thing on the groups and stuff.
Yes.
And then we can really this state holds up progress. You know what I mean? That holds up progress. And we trying to go farther faster. We got David Pinkney. He has said, so it's more, let's post this comment. So it's more to breeding. I guess he's trying to be funny. This ain't no advertisement show. All we saying is about the breed. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to promote this ain't no promo show. This ain't a commercial. This is an information. We ain't on here publicity.
What's the comment say? I can't read it.
He say, so it's more to breeding than me getting a nice meal from you and a nice meal from SKB. Oh, yes. Yes. Do your homework, do your research. You want to be sure that these dogs are going to be compatible. You got to have an idea. What is your goal? What is your aims and ambitions when you're pairing dogs together? What is the ideal for your lifestyle? It's not just like he said, it's definitely way more to it than just getting a dog from a male or a female from your eyes. You have to really measure what's important to you and you trying to produce. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are the two different dogs bringing to the table? Because if they're both bringing to the same exact thing to the table, and then they're negligent in something else, you're going to get something that's very negligent in one point. Like if you're just bringing two dogs with just ridiculously beautiful heads together and both of their rear ends are messed up, you're going to get a dog with a beautiful, beautiful head that I can't stand, So you gotta kind of balance each other out. try to bring forth what you want to bring forth, and you gotta. It's a lot that goes into it, and again, that's why I say again, we're not on that level as those old pit bull guys. But man, if we can get there, if we get there, because again, they knew exactly what they were looking at. They look at a pedigree, and they could tell you 6, 8, 10 generations back of how this dog is going to produce.
Right. And they knew what to look for. You know,
Yeah.
there were certain little behaviors that they could identify from very early on, from having the understanding of the parents and the grandparents, and knowing these guys were intimately involved with their bloodlines and pedigrees. And they could tell you, for example, you can see the potential Barack in a litter.
Yes, yes.
I mean, you done had enough puppies.
I've been able to figure it out now. Yep.
Yeah. So you can kind of see your style or your type. So as a breeder, you have to be kind of like very selective with what you're aiming to produce. You have to have a clear goal in mind. This is the next gen. What I like about my dog. And then you also have to be very objective and look at your dog's weaknesses too, and say, this is what I need to improve on my dog in order so that it's going to be the better version of him in this next generation.
It took me a while to learn that, to be honest. It took me a while to learn that, to not have kennel blindness. We all have egos and stuff, and sometimes you can get that kennel blindness. And I can tell you, I suffered from that for a while. And you got to be able to be honest with yourself, what you need to fix, and then you got to go out and be able to find and work with people to fix what you need to fix.
Yeah. Yeah, and as your breed and your bloodline evolves, it happens over time. You know, it's so important, I think, that to establish, like you said, those relationships with people, because you're going to need to be able to see your progeny, you know, the puppies,
Yes.
as they grow and develop.
Yes.
You know, especially that's why I really like working with like what I call companion homes, or like a foster home or guardian home.
Okay.
Where the dog is an option as it's a potential breeding prospect.
Yes.
But based off of, but we can measure the inputs, we can measure how the dog is being fed, you know, so we can take all of these things in the environment into consideration. And then we can measure how the genetics interact with the environment based off of our our hypothesis, our prediction for the dog. And then we can make an informed decision how to utilize this dog in our program, if it fits, if it makes the cut.
And that's an important tool important tool is establishing a relationship with your client so you can do that homework. So, because you know what your puppy looked like at 8 weeks, and then you never seen that dog again. So I'm always keeping a constant relationship with my clients, because I want to know what that dog looked like at 4 months, at 8 months, at 10 months. I want to know what it looked at like at 24 months. I want to know what they noticed here and what they noticed there, and then measure that off of 10 other clients. And that way you can see where you're trending with each potential breeding that you've done and that you plan to do. You can be like, okay, because if you just sell a dog and you never talk about it again, and you never talk to those clients again, you don't really know what you're producing except for at 8 weeks. You know what that dog looked like at 8 weeks. It looked really good at 8 weeks. How does it look at 3 years old now? How has it been performing? How is its temperament? How has it
Energy.
developed?
Right.
Yep.
My fault. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, brother, no.
Yeah, I was just picking up. But yeah, like the energy though. I really am conscious of energy too, because I feel like that's one way to measure this dog's intensity. You know what I mean? We got some comments coming in through on Facebook. But that's a way to measure the dog's intensity, the drive. You know what I mean? And I think that with these bigger dogs, that is something, as they get larger in size, you tend to lose that intensity, the drive to want to get up and move around and do stuff. So we have to be aware that we don't want to go the way of the English Mastiff, where those dogs can lack complete function. His dog is big and is super big, but it doesn't have any true. It does. It's nowhere near the dog that it once was. You know, we talking about the Mastiff. Those dogs travel. That was the original, like supposed to be the version of the Boerboel. You know, the
Mhm.
one of the breeds that was used and included in the evolution of all mastiffs, the English Mastiff, right? The
Yes.
Tibetan Mastiff. You know what I mean? And it's nowhere near the dog of war, the powerful protector. You know, have very different than it originally started. No drive whatsoever. But the Boerboel should have that because we remember we want to maintain, you know, we want them to be trying to stay close by us. We need them to be alert. You know, we want them to be attentive. All of that's related to energy. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like it's always a good thing to fast them a little bit.
But yeah, fast them, clean out their system, clean out, give them time to, and that's another science that's just coming back around again. How important the gut is on an animal. Everything now, people are starting to refer to the gut as the second brain.
Mm,
The gut as the second brain because it determines the attitude of your brain and the energy level, like you were just speaking of. Everything starts in the gut with your microbiomes or whatever it's called. It starts there. So what you're feeding your dog, what kind of what's the right word for it? I was just looking at a show talking about this the other day. Oh, and I learned something about dogs too the other day. What's the it's just the microorganism in your gut, the
yeah,
microorganism,
probiotic.
the probiotics and stuff in there. It just determines the mood of you, how you're going to react and respond to everything, and then your energy levels.
Yeah, that healthy gut. It's interesting that came up in this discussion because I got a video that I've been doing my research for, and I'm talking now. What I found out, dogs don't produce the digestive enzyme that allows them to process and absorb nutrition from plant matter.
Oh yeah, and so I tell people all that time. You feed your dog broccoli, you feed it lettuce. It's a nice filler, uh, and they say, well, dogs can get nutrition from it. No, they can't. In the wild, what a wolf does is when they kill an animal, you see it eating the meat and stuff, but no, they eat the stomach from the deer. And so when they eat the stomach, what's inside of the stomach? It's the food that the deer ate, the grass, and the deer has already started breaking it down. So the
Right.
deer's probiotic has already started breaking down the nutrition from the grass and stuff. So now when the dog eats that, now he can absorb the nutrition from it because the deer or the elk or the boar or whatever grazing animal he ate has started the digestion process for him. So you're right, they can't absorb effectively the nutrition from vegetables. The enzymes from the prey animal has already started that for them.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you, it's that's crazy that you mentioned that. I got the name of the enzyme that is contained in a ruminating animal. It's called
Ruminating, there you go. Yep.
it's right here in my notes. Hold on, I'll tell you. But this enzyme, what it does is already, like you said, breaking it down. That was a gem.
Yep.
That was a huge gem. Y'all board. There you go, right there. You said it. That's the so this but because of those digestive enzymes have already pre-digested this
Yes,
nutrient,
it's already
and
been
that
there.
plant matter is there as they're consuming the stomach,
Yes.
it becomes available to the dog, and it's like a superpower food for
And
them.
that's why the superpower food that we can give a dog is green tripe.
That's what yeah,
Green
yeah.
tripe is a super powerful, it's the stinkiest stuff in the world, but it's an uncleaned stomach or intestine. And that stuff in there, if you feed it to puppies, I swear by green tripe because it's the closest thing
Woo!
we can get. It's the closest, it's the unclean stomach, which dogs fight over that in the wild. There's certain things that dogs fight over. The alpha wolf gets the biggest chunks of the heart, get the biggest chunks of the kidney. They get that stuff because there's certain stuff in there that they need. They get the pieces of the stomach first because they need, they're not eating kibble in the wild. They're eating that animal. So yeah, you on nature's, we see them eating the meat, but they really going for some of that other stuff in there a lot too. That is the what's it called that we like? Man, I forget. Like when we eat caviar or something, it's special,
Right.
huh?
Yeah, the
What's it
choice
called?
pieces.
The choice pieces are the man, I can't remember the right word for it, but that is the part that they want. That is the hey, the alpha gets his piece of that first because he's
Yep.
gonna get that grass out of there that's already half digested, and now he's eating that stomach full of grass, and he can absorb that into him. He can absorb it now.
Whoo,
Yeah.
man, that's a huge gem.
So,
That's big. That's what all my research right here. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? Is about green tripe and the
Oh,
digestive
is it?
enzymes.
Is it?
That's crazy. You know, great minds think alike.
Yes,
But it's talking about the
sir.
way that it allows you to absorb nutrients. Those digestive enzymes are alive. They're critical in breaking down nutrition to the dogs. How it keeps the stool firm. I knew there was something going on with your puppies, man.
Yeah,
I knew it. I'm like, them puppies is stupid. I knew something was going on. You've been feeding tripe.
green, not just tripe. If you go to
Yeah,
a regular grocery store, they're going to give you white tripe. That's
right. No, you
that's the
can't get
tripe
that.
that have been bleached and cleaned. It's good, but it's just all right. But it's been bleached and cleaned for our consumption. You want that, and I'm telling you, when I tell you green tripe stinks, oh man, it'll destroy your home. But it is a superfood for dogs.
Yeah,
Superfood, especially when they're going through their growth spurts, because they're just getting. You can't reproduce that anywhere. You
no,
can't just green tripe. You can't produce it unless you go outside and find a deer and cut his stomach open and give it to your dogs.
yeah.
You can't get it.
You can't get it, man. That's cold. You would think that we had this planned out, man, but that's
Yeah.
definitely big game. If y'all really trying to step your thing up with the board with your dogs, you want them looking the way thick, like you see how our dogs is. Hey, man, that's crazy. You want them thick,
Green tripe.
you want them blowed up to the T. You gotta
Yes,
you
sir.
gotta get that into your diet because that plant matter, that plant matter. So it's not gonna be full like how, when you get it from the butcher or I mean from the slaughter, wherever you get it from, it's going to be pre-rinsed, but it's still gonna have small bits of that plant
Yes.
matter
Yes.
and they stink like crazy. But to me, I train and condition myself like, man, this smells like money. You know, it
Yes.
smells like
You're right.
gold.
You're right. Because it's gonna. You can see the difference in a litter that's had green tripe versus one that hasn't. A green
Oh
type,
man.
you
Oh
can see that it does something fabulous. It does something to them. This green tripe,
man.
you
Yeah,
feed that to them.
that's been my secret. That's been my secret to success for many years. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Man,
we've been tearing them up with that. That's how and then it just blows them heads up. I noticed the difference soon as I had went without it. I had
yes,
went without it for a little while, and it was like, man, what's going on with my puppies? They not looking how they supposed to look. Soon as I get that tripe in there, I could see the difference immediately. The heads
yes,
it looked like they have just exploded. I'm talking about it's crazy. And I even did a live video with that, man. And see, that's the type of information that
the
you only
game is
want to
being
get.
told right now. It could have been sold. It's being told right now.
Yeah,
It's being told.
see. Yeah, that's got to be gems. So I'm thinking we can do a lot of stuff on there live like that, but that's huge. And that's the type of information exchange that we want to have. We want to be able to pass on, you know, because we trying to really put the breed on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that was huge though, man. I really
trying to better
I
the
said I
system.
was see me in the beginning. I said I was just doing my research on that ingredient. I would just say that I wasn't gonna say what it was.
That's one.
Oh,
Okay, that's. I got another superfood too, man. That's good, man. I got another superfood too, man. It's not as good as green tripe, but I got another one. Uh, that's outstanding. One of the best things you can get for joints and cartilage and stuff like that, man.
oh, but don't say it.
Oh
Don't
man,
say it.
it's so good. And the earlier this stuff, the earlier you get it into your dog, the better. It's just like the earlier you can get into them, is the better. Man, why can I remember the name of the first thing the puppies get? Why, man, I'm just drawing blanks right now.
Colostrum.
Colostrum. You got to get colostrum in there within them first 6 hours. You got to get that colostrum in there. The
That's
sooner you
another
get
huge gem.
yeah,
I don't know if you saw. I had talked with Breeder Hacks. He had went to this thing. He was explaining to me how um they did a test to determine, you think that all the puppies are getting that colostrum in the first, it's only being produced in 48 for the first 48 hours.
Yeah.
And they did a test on each puppy to see if which ones had the inherit, what do they call the like with vaccines have the antibodies.
Antibodies, yes.
And some dogs were at like, some of the puppies were at like 90-70%. They had some though that were none. And he talked about the importance of supplementing with the colostrum. So that's another huge gem.
So everybody thinks the antibody is in the milk. It's in the colostrum. And so that
Right.
colostrum has to get in them within that first 48 hours, like you say. So I have to do my research because I'm at a little bit of different opinion than you. I believe that colostrum is produced for longer than 48 hours. But if I might have read it wrong, I think that the puppy only has the ability to absorb it for
Okay.
48 hours. I might be
Okay.
wrong. You might be right. But I think I read that they can only absorb it for 48 hours. So even if you get like, if your dog's not producing milk and you're letting it, I mean, if it's producing, if you got a dog to get milk, or you having to use a surrogate mother, or you're bottle feeding, if you start giving them colostrum at day 5, the puppy won't absorb it.
Okay, that's what it is.
If I'm correct, they can only
Yeah.
absorb it for about 48 hours, and they can absorb the most of it in the first couple of feedings, in those first couple of hours. So it kind of, even if it's a 100% colostrum. Now I'm just making these numbers up. Now I'm just kind of going off of what I read, that if it's 100% colostrum, within them first 2 hours, they can absorb 100% of it. You get to 7 or 8 hours, they're only absorbing 70, 60% of it, something like that. Now, you got to do your homework. I'm just some guy talking to you on YouTube. So do your homework. But if I think they can only absorb it for 48 hours. I might be wrong though.
Yeah, it's definitely now I will get back with more buddies. We'll let
Get you
y'all
guys
know.
correct answer. We'll get you guys a correct answer.
Yeah, with the definite answer. We'll get back with y'all and let y'all know, because we definitely want you to have the right information. But I know that it's 48 hours. I know that it's very important.
There you're 48 hours. So that's the key. We don't know the reason why 48 hours, but we know 48 hours.
Yeah, it's something. 48. I know you got to get it in there. You got to get it in there. And at the vet, they even because our dogs are big and producing lots of milk, they'll even collect some of that colostrum for like some of the smaller dogs, just to make sure, even if they moms aren't producing a whole lot of milk, like you said, with some of the smaller breeds, like some of the toy breeds may not produce a whole lot, but that colostrum they'll save it and freeze it and collect it. And then there was another way that you can even take some of the plasma, has those antibodies when you spin the blood. Did you know that?
This whelper I had taught me a little bit about this. This last whelper I had, this lady that does bullies, she was using blood plasma on the puppy she was whelping from me. So she was drawing blood from the mom, and she was spinning them down. And I was intrigued, but she was getting them blood plasma. And she's like, yeah, I got to go back and talk to her some more. But I just learned that too, maybe on my last litter.
Yeah,
so I don't know how to do it, but she was kind of telling me about it.
Yeah, it's very valuable, especially with the bullies. See, and that's why it's going to be very interesting, because they are very science oriented. They know about that stuff because their dogs have those. And this is what the whole point of this discussion. I'm glad that we were able to bring it all back home, because with the reduced fertility is what we're aiming to avoid, the problems of like the bullies, because they haven't been called, like we talked about from the beginning. They experience a very technical level of breeding. You have to be like an expert breeder. It's not easy to produce those creations, but and sometimes they don't produce milk. They don't, they have extreme complications with breeding.
Yes.
What you gonna say?
That's another thing, going back to the natural selection versus the selective breeding that we're doing. And Mother Nature has its own program for hundreds of thousands of years to get a baby born, and so we're kind of trying to do it ourselves, and so we're messing around with Mother Nature, and we're not as perfect as Mother Nature because
Right.
Mother Nature's perfected it over eons, right? Over eons.
Man, we can only, and I think that we got to take what we can from there and just apply that to that Mother Nature, and don't go too far. You know, we got to keep that balance between the natural way, you know, and going, because I really am afraid, you know, of the mutation thing. With the Boerboels, I don't know. You know, I have done tight line breedings before, and like I said, you had to give dogs away and stuff. Sometimes those dogs don't work out, even not. So the one time that I did, and it was very like my third or fourth litter, I did full brother sister.
Okay.
And that was by mistake. And the puppies, I gave one to a family, and they had a swimming pool and stuff. And the dog couldn't, you know, it was a morph, it was a mutant. You know, they kind of looked like a pug.
Gotcha.
And big eyes on the sides, extremely exaggerated, which would probably produce something phenomenal if you bred it out, or, you know, I don't know. But this dog couldn't like run really good. It was you know, had an extra like wide body. It was just freakish looking, right? And she said the dog went swimming and drowned, couldn't swim.
Gotcha.
So it was heartbreaking for them. You know what I'm saying? But I was, you know, I checked back in with them to find out how the dog was doing, because just, you know, I want to see what happens. And it was nothing that I had did intentionally. And we ended up with 4 puppies out the litter. So it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. My camera battery died. Give me 1 second. Let me hold on, board buddies. Let me get this. Let me get a camera fresh battery.
There we go.
Hold on.
Just doing a little break. We gotta get one of those little musics for that.
Right. Let's see.
Y'all hold on 1 second. The man is going to come back. Mr. Jordan Pittman will be back in just a second. I wish I had one of the puppies or something in the house right now. I could show you guys. The weather out here in Texas, I guess across the world, has just been crappy. But
we got another guest here. Let's see. Oh, we got Southern Ohio Boerboels in the house.
Oh, there you go.
What's going on,
brother? How you doing? How you doing?
You already know what's happening.
All right.
You already know, man.
Yes,
hey, introduce yourself.
Let
everybody know what's going on, Southern Ohio Boerboels.
Oh yeah. I'm you know, Terry, the dog man from Southern Ohio Boerboels, breeding true standard Boerboels at its finest. I want to know why you guys talking about game bred dogs before y'all get me on here. That's what I want to know. Let's get straight to it. I got the gamest dogs out here. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Let's get it started. You're talking about game bred dogs without me, man. What's going on, man?
Got some killers over there. Mr. Don't Miss, that's my boy right there.
Yes, sir.
Let everybody know your history, Southern Ohio, man. You know, you come from you've been breeding dogs. How long you been involved with dogs in general?
Close to 30 years, brother. Close to 30 years, brother. I done had every dog you can think of. I done had a Shih Tzu to a Italian Masters. I done had Malleys. I had 30 pit bulls at once. That's my main thing. I came from a game bred pit bull background, brother. You know, so all my dogs have to have gameness in them. You was talking about energy. That energy is called drive, brother. You see what I'm saying? You know, they gotta have the drive to want to survive. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the females gotta have drive to have them natural to push these big litters I'll be producing now. You know what I mean? I don't gotta run to the vet, get them cut out. My female's game enough to push them out, brother. You know what I'm saying? Yo, let's do it.
Hey, yeah, you okay? You talk that now. I'm telling you, you better be mindful, man, because hey, you be waiting on that last pup to come out, and then you got to rush it, man.
I mean, I do my due diligence. I take them get the X-rays and stuff. I know what's in there. I know what's supposed to come out.
There you go.
If they don't get out, I'll go get them out. But yeah, I ain't gonna just let them sit there. But yeah, I'm pretty successful with them having natural, brother. Yeah, they push them out. They push
Yeah,
them out.
Man,
yeah.
I
What's up,
Yes,
tell
sir.
Seven Kingdom?
hey
I'm about
man,
to breed your girl.
man, I'm excited to see that collaboration, man. I'm excited
I'm
to
about to
see it.
I'm about to breed your girl, man. I'm
Okay,
gonna put together some of that big stuff you like.
Panda.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
I might have to come for a pup back, man. Give me a pup off that. Uh,
All you gotta do is say it, man. I told you I'm coming down there, man.
okay.
So let
I
me
think, man,
know.
all the hundreds of times we talked, man, I don't think you ever mentioned that you was doing the pits in the back in the days, man. I'm a big fan of old school pit bull breeders, and
Yeah, red some red boy Jocko, little Jeep, you know what I'm saying?
okay,
We'll talk. Yeah.
okay.
I still got a couple pups around actually, but they're about
I would
five, six
like
years
to
old
bring
now.
that type of breeding, if possible, to the Boerboels. I would love to the enthusiasm and the again. I know people don't want to cull. People don't want to. Line breeding and inbreeding are like four-letter words now. It's a don't do it. It's going to. But if we
Yeah.
want some consistency, if you want to have a litter of 10 puppies and all 10 puppies look the same, you're going to have to line breed and inbreed. You're going to have to line breed and inbreed if you want all 10 puppies of a litter to look the same. Then to do another breeding and have all those puppies look the same, to have that kind of consistency, you're going to have to tighten up the blood. It comes with a lot of downfalls. It comes with a lot of responsibility for the puppies that don't make the cut.
Right.
But because
Right.
there's going to be a lot of puppies that don't make the cut. But if we want to have that consistency that every one of your clients is getting the same exact puppy from a litter and you know this is what you're producing solidly, then we got to figure out how to get back to doing some more line breedings and inbreedings.
That's really called the real meaning of responsible breeding. You know, because uh, every dog breed that you got, there wasn't culling involved. And still in some form or fashion, there's gonna be some culling involved in present day. This day and age, we have to spay or neuter.
Yeah,
That's the most main thing. And then, give them away, get them spayed and neutered, and give them away. You know, um, that's what I do. If a pup doesn't make the cut, like I got a lot of friends and family that really can't afford the price for a Boerboel. So we work out deals to where if they just get them spayed or neutered, they can have the dog. And that's a fair exchange, I believe, and that keeps them out of the gene pool at the same time.
yes.
You know. So, there is, where there's a will, there's a way. So, we can work that out, you know what I mean? And I strongly suggest that, we should do that, like the dog Jordan got, he's on the same wavelength I'm on. He's got, his dogs have drive also. And so that's the reason why, we're gonna do some collaborations together. I can't wait till he put that female up there under that black male. You know what I'm saying? He know what I'm talking about. I
That dog.
can't wait for that. I need two of them. Please, sir, hurry up and do that. You know what I mean?
It's,
But yeah, let's get
but
that
hold on,
going.
let me ask a question though, because I got a question. So I was gonna say, let me ask, because there's also for the counter let's give it a counter argument to the line breeding situation, which is the crossing of dogs that are unrelated genetically, but they could still be related phenotypes where they carry the big head, like a Balto and a Barak. And because those so that's the other practice method breeding strategy that we have to employ, uh or could be employed. And I was going to get which, so how would we include that? That's my school of thought, that I feel like I've been having my greatest success lately as a late when I started, because I had already did it like really for my first maybe 7 years. I did it like all
Yeah,
in.
you built your foundation.
Yep.
You built your foundation by line breeding and inbreeding, tight breeding. You got your foundation. Once you got your foundation, that's when you started going out.
Right.
You made your line. You got to where you needed to be and what you needed to see out of your bloodline. Once you got that foundation poured, that's when you start putting other things on top of it. You did selective breeding. That's when you do that. You always gonna have to go out. But when you go out, you're going out for a purpose. You're not just going out just to go out. You know what I mean? You're going out for a specific goal that you're looking for in a dog. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at right now. That's the reason why I went out with Midnight. And I don't use Midnight a couple times. So he's gonna give me that what I need for my line. I'm gonna add a little bit more overall girth to my females. I'm looking to maybe size them up just a little bit. I like my males to be about 175. I know everybody likes the 200-pound, but my dogs, I want to be about 170, 175, 180, 185 at the most. But they're going to run all day. They're going to swim. They're going to jump. They're going to work. They're going to bite. They're going to be loving. They're going to be affectionate. They're going to be true to standard Boerboels. They're going to have, if you want to get up and run them out, they're going to run them out. If you want to lay down, they're going to lay down with you. But I want my dogs to be highly intelligent, athletic, healthy, true Boerboels. Boerboel's supposed to be a working class dog. It's not a lay around 200-pound couch potato, in my opinion, But, to each their own,
And I think it's nothing wrong with what you're saying, because there is a capacity for some people going to need that. Some people going to need that. And I use a Southern Ohio dog. Let me tell y'all, if y'all don't know, this dog is super duper spicy though. I'm talking about hot as a lava. You know what I'm saying? She can bear it. She dominates the males. She does. I mean, she's shooting out there, checking them face first. Females, there's no way that she's gonna roll with the pack. She doesn't run with the pack. She doesn't get along with anyone because she is that dominant. And it's a spicy line. I feel like the dog is perfect. She's like about 130, 40 to 60. I feel like it's hard to really gauge what her real weight is, but that bit is that she got go though. She got go, and the size is adequate. It's still a big dog, and I feel like that's important to have. But there's drawbacks with that. Like I said, she can't go with the whole pack. This is a single dog. She really fits in better, not even with other males. And that's not a dog for somebody with, just my personal, you got to be mindful of that. It's risk factor involved with this dog. You know what I'm saying? Especially to the general public. I mean, and I love the dog. Don't get me wrong. I ain't nothing wrong with that.
They're not for they're not for everybody.
No.
Every dog. Every program's not for everybody. You got some people you need more experienced handlers to handle certain programs. And some people like that. Some people don't want that, and that's okay, and I am watering them down a little bit with these past couple of breeds I'm putting together. I am toning them down a little bit so they'll be a little bit more manageable for the general public. But they still gonna have that drive. Anything you get from Southern Ohio Boerboels is gonna protect. Believe that. You know what I mean? You're not gonna walk away with a Southern Ohio Boerboel dog. You know what I mean?
you can see who had them pit bulls back, and that's that game bred. You can see who's got it. To your question, you asked that outcross is needed. It's a magic part. And you got to do it at the right time. You got to get your inbreedings in, your line breedings in, and then you got to bring that outcross in at the right exact time. And that will just blow your program away. You get that outcross in there. Again, we keep going back to natural selection. You got that one wolf that's breeding all the females. He's breeding all the females, litter after litter after litter after litter. And he's having to send his male offsprings off. But he keeps having the puppies. And then one day, Mother Nature says it's not your turn anymore. And it sends the outcross to take him out. That
Right.
outcross comes, and then boom, because that pack will get stagnant. That pack, it might be the baddest pack in the land. There might be 8 packs of wolves over here, and this pack has reached its apex, and then it starts to decline, and
Right.
that's because of the of what they're breeding has become stagnant, and in comes that young buck, in and out, and then boom, now this pack of wolves is exploding again. So that outcast is got to come at the right time. It's got to come at the right time. But
Right.
you
Yeah.
will,
Yep. Yep. And it's
like Terry was saying, you got to build that base. That base is built before that outcross comes and adds something new in there, and then that outcross eventually becomes inbreeding again because he's staying there for a while. He's staying there for a while, and then another outcross is going to come, and it's just going to come, and that's how Mother Nature does it.
right. And that's where the breed has to evolve. That's where the inclusion of other kennels networking, breeders networking together, where we're able to say, "Here, man, hey, it's only natural. It's only right." Like, we all, this is an Ohio thing around here. You know what I'm saying? So we work. It's only naturally for us to get together and start
You already
exchanging
know.
dogs and bloodlines. With the same way that y'all do down in Texas, I see you working with Heart of Texas. You know what I'm saying? And
You know, we got Natty Bred Kennels in here in Cincinnati too. Natty Bred
oh yeah,
Kennels.
that's dope.
My brother now. Yeah, that's my road dog.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Got Glock over there. Glock's on his way.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
essential. It's essential for us to come together and exchange blood because, like you said, at some point you have to bring in the fresh genetics to boost them up so they can go to new peaks and reach new heights and add in fresh answers to issues or defects. Things that may be causing, like you said, because this stronger one comes in. He came from. We got the pack in the north. They done blowed up and growed up. And now they living in the lap of luxury and they start getting weak. Where you got them dogs down south, they hungry.
They hungry because the pack is smaller,
Right.
and they got to get it how the game is less game. They got to get strong. They got to get strong, so they're hungry.
Right. And they go up there with them soft dogs up north that's living in the lap of luxury. They hunting, easy killing, easy hunting.
Yeah.
And then they just go they take all they girls, they take all them.
There
You know what I'm saying? Y'all better
I
get
have
them.
Right.
my military background, and this kind of goes back into that, man. And it's the same thing with animals. But they say, man, that hard times make strong men. Strong men make easy times. Easy times make weak men. It's a cycle. It's the same thing. That if you're in hard times, you got no choice but to be hard. And when you get hard, you make things easier. But when you're in easier times, you get softer. And it's just like you were just saying with that pack. That pack down south been hungry, starving, they fighting, they're getting stronger. While the one up north, man, I'm gonna let that buffalo go, man. I'm full today. They not hunting. Yeah, that one died in an accident. I'm gonna just go scavenge that. Because we got plenty of game over here, and so that pack down south gonna get strong, and it's gonna come over there, and it's just gonna take everything over.
Yep, that's
And
natural
this
evidence.
is going to happen eventually. A couple of generations, the vice versa is going to happen again. Got to build back up.
And
Man.
when you gonna put together that show down there before we can come down there and shut it down? That's what I
Well,
want to know.
I was just talking to Patrick and John Green just today. Funny you asked. From Texas Bred Boerboels.
Right on.
Those are the OGs, some of the OGs in my opinion out here in Texas. So I was just talking to Texas Bred Boerboels and wanted to get with Jordan and them. We got to get something going on for us. If we can get it going on in Texas, man, and Ohio boys and everybody else is welcome. A welcoming environment for everybody to bring your stock, bring it down, show off some friendly banter,
Yeah, I think it'll be
and
good
do
for the
your thing.
breed.
Oh yeah. We were just talking about that earlier today. We got to make it happen, and Patrick from Texas Bred Boerboels, he's the one I believe can make it happen. I believe he's got a lot more connections than I have. He can go in different circles that I'm not too invited in. So he can go
Right
in
on.
different circles and he can help unite us two brothers, man, and get us together. And if we can get a show in Houston and you Ohio boys and from all over the place don't mind coming on down here, we can get a good show going on.
Oh, it's
I'm with
yeah.
it. I'm with it. Keep
It's
me
a,
posted.
it's natural. It's natural evolution. It's got to happen.
Inevitable. It's inevitable. It's
Yeah.
inevitable. And then this breed will just go to a different height. And I think it'll be on the pedestal that it needs to be. This is just such an, in my opinion, again, such an amazing breed to me. In my opinion, hands down the best of the Mastiff breed. If everybody can experience the South African Mastiff, then I think they're missing out. I think they're missing out in all of its glory. Just like you said, from the work, the drive, and the appearance. So the work, drive, appearance, and temperament. When you get that perfect dog, and you get all that lined up in your kennel, man, this breed is just top notch when you're firing on all 5 cylinders.
Phenomenal animal. It's a phenomenal breed.
Yes.
It's a phenomenal
I,
breed.
I always say, this is the dog that you stand up and beat your chest. This is my dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
I
how it
got a
make you
Boerboel.
feel when you walking in. Like definitely for sure. Feel like you walking a beast when you walking a Boerboel.
It's
Yeah.
something just so regal and royal about it. When you got it, there might be some dogs a little bit taller, a little bit bigger, but they're not going to have all of the combination that a Boerboel has from the temperament, the
they,
size, the look, the confidence,
they don't
everything,
have the swag, man. They
the
just don't have the
swag,
swag. You just say it. They
the
don't have the
swag.
swag. They just don't
Yeah.
got it, man. They
Yeah.
just
Man.
they're not it. That's all it is to it. You can't explain it. A Boerboel just different, man.
You
You
got
can
to
you can
see
see a
one in
Boerboel
real
a
life.
mile away.
And you know what's so crazy to me? It's like we experience it every day, but guess what? It's a lot of people that don't know nothing about a
Yeah.
Boerboel. They never seen them.
You got to see it
Right.
in real life. The pictures and videos don't
Yeah.
just do they you I have it from every client that comes down here. They try to prepare themselves for a extremely large dog. And then you guys know, when you guys do a breeding, you guys know when somebody comes and their eyes get wide and they're like, okay, you can take I want my puppy, but take the adult back in the other room because they just can't, even though they
You sure you
prepared
got him?
themselves,
You sure you
they're
got him?
always
Yeah, I got
surprised.
him.
Yeah, like, no, that's not a real dog, man. That's a dinosaur. Everybody to a T who hasn't seen one before, they're always surprised when they see it because they're always thinking of Rottweiler. They're always thinking about a dog the size of that's an extremely large dog to them, and everybody will tell you a Rottweiler weigh 180 pounds. The dog weigh 115. They'll tell you it weigh 180. But when you see a real 160 plus pound dog, it's different. It's different. There's a difference between a real 160-pound dog and a big Rottweiler that's 120. It's a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
It's a
difference.
big difference between a 165-pound male and a 190-pound male. It's a big difference
It's a
in
difference.
real life.
Uh, in
It's a
my
big
opinion,
difference.
5 pounds on a dog is like 25 pounds on a human. So, and them 5 pound intervals is at least 20 pounds on a human. It's the difference between a big. I tell people a lot of times when I'm explaining to people, I say, yeah, this dog is a middle linebacker. It's Ray Lewis. That dog is huge. It's 6'3", 250-pound middle linebacker. That's huge until you see a 6'7", 290-pound defensive end. That's the difference. That's huge, right? You got a middle linebacker that's a giant, 6'3", 250. That's a big human being. But then when you get that 6'7", 290 defensive end, JJ Watt, that's a different animal. That's
Yeah.
a different size animal.
And that's the best. I always use a football team analogy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because that's how I feel the best way to describe the Boerboels. You got linebackers, defensive ends, you got backs. They all supposed to be strong, powerful though.
yeah, they're
Ain't
all
nobody
strong and
over there.
powerful.
Ain't
Yes,
no,
sir.
everybody's supposed to be able to hold their own and play their role on the team. That's the pack. That's the definition of a pack, a
Yep, they're
team.
they're they're all now they're all world class athletes. Don't get that wrong. They're all a cornerback is you get that 5'10", 185-pound cornerback is still a world-class athlete. It's still
Right.
a world-class athlete. It's a different animal.
Exactly.
It's
And they both all have value.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, they all have value. They all working parts of a machine, you know, and that's where everybody have to come together. This was a great show, man. We got to do this more often, y'all. That's where the community is gonna come in, though. You know what I'm saying? We'll be able to just get on there and vibe, kick this information back and forth, and then we'll be able to bring it to the public for our public discussions. We have our private discussions where we building up on it's gonna be raw. It's gonna be raw. All of the Boerboel enthusiasts, and that way, when we come to the table when we bring the Boerboel to the table, everything is gonna be polished. You know, it's gonna be very presented, very well presented.
I think this is gonna be one of
He
those
bringing
shows
out dog.
Yeah. I'm a dog man. I'm a dog man. I know my dog. Miss Judy. Hey. Let me ask you something, Exotic man. So what's the main thing you look for when you selecting your dogs, man? Just to throw that question out there for the public here, man. You got the most experience of the panel here. Go ahead and give us some knowledge before you get. I sound like you're trying to get out of here, man. Drop a gem before you get out of here, brother.
Okay, so you saying male or female?
What do you look for the most in a dog in your program? When you want to select a dog, what are you looking for? Your main criteria, what are you looking for?
In order for me to really see a dog's truest value, if the dog have to have structure. It have to have those neat. I'm looking for like that smooth top line, because that I feel like you cannot get that. The top line, the angulation. I'm looking for completeness. I'm looking at the total dog, the totality from head to toe. And then I'm gonna measure that again when I'm talking about a pair of what I have, what do I need, what am I trying to reproduce, what am I trying to exclude. And so I'm looking for balance, though, because I feel like once those feet start going easty westy, that's so difficult to you know, that's difficult. Like I got easty westy, you know, the pasterns is not so that's my weakness. My pasterns is not that's why I brought in Asulu, though. You know, if you ever look at Asulu, her pasterns is real tight and her knuckles.
Her feet are real clean.
Yeah, she's real
clean in the feet. Yeah.
And she has really smooth face.
Yeah.
So she tightened up about those wrinkles and the exaggerated wrinkles. But at the end of the day, I will go for a small dog. I will go for a tall dog, as long as there's balance from head to toe and it fits together in a nice complete package. That's the first and foremost. Then I'm also considering the dog. I'm looking at the totality of the dog, to be honest. I'm looking at the eye contact. How engaged is the dog with the owner? You know, how engaged is the dog with the environment? Is the dog active? You know, especially for a stud dog. Is he going to be able to get up there and make repeated attempts? Now, I'm not expecting him to always succeed in attempts because we don't have that type of time. But is he going to at least attempt as a stud dog? A female dog, you know, I'm looking for her to have some energy because, like you said, we wanted to push the puppies out. So I want her to be, you know, some form of fit. I need to see some power, some muscle, because their birthing process is exhausting. So I like that's why you see mostly in the runs, we taking small males and a gang of females. But I'm looking for structure, though, balance from head to toe. I just know really one criteria.
Total dog, yeah.
What you say, family?
Yeah. I said the total dog.
The total dog, right? Head to toe. You can't really. But I'm gonna tell you something. A male has mandatory. I will not use a male that does not have an impressive head.
Okay, so now you answer my question. So so maybe I didn't ask it right, but yeah, now that's what I want to hear. So okay, the head. So you say he's got to have an impressive head on him, huh?
Yeah, a male, because listen, when you lose head, how you gonna find that? That's like, who want a male with a small head?
Right. So you don't think you can fix that with a big head female?
Nope, you cannot fix. No, It's mixed up. You're gonna throw big head females and small head males. You see what I'm saying? That's how the genetics has been mutated. That's like dominant. You're having a dominant. The household is mixed up. That's a dysfunctional household. You know what I'm saying? What you say, big bro? What you say, Jason?
Head, bone, and chest.
You know what he gonna say. Big head, big chest, big bone. You know what he
Big
gonna
head,
say.
bone, and chest. I'll let you guys on a secret that we do over here at Savage Kingdom. We actually got two types of breeding. We got our public breedings and we got our private breedings. We got in the franchise, we got probably a little bit over 60 dogs, but you'll only see about 7 of them. That's our advertising. That's our marketing. That's the breeding that's going to keep people, the head, bone, and chest, that's going to keep people enticed, people talking. They want some from that litter. Then we got the breedings that we keep to ourselves. That's going to be that we need to fix this. We got something in there. Everybody loves this dog, and they don't. We got some stuff we want to fix. So we got those breedings where we're fixing stuff, and we're going to bring back in later. So we got the dogs that we're showing everybody, and we got the dogs that we're fixing stuff, and we're going to bring back in and be like big head, bone, and chest. So we got our public and we got our private breedings. We're just fortunate we're able to do that right now. So we can still give the clients what they want, still give the people out there what they want, and we can get our breedings that's truer to standard, truer to structure and the temperament we want, and then bring those back into the puppies that we already produced that we kept. So we'll bring those back in and keep fixing stuff and getting better, and then still keep pumping out, not pumping out, but showing these other dogs, okay, this is what you guys want. This I say this before, that I've never had a client say, I want your dog with your best top line, but you need a dog with a great top line. But the clients don't know that, so you show them the head, bone, and chest, and you come from the back end and give them the top line. You come from the back end and you give them the angulation. You give them the dog without the easty westy. So you get those breedings that's going to fix and alleviate that while giving them what they want. So I don't bore them with the details of, hey, this top line or this angulation or this
Right.
thing. They have no clue what that is. So I'm trying to get some money in my pocket, and I'm trying to improve the breed. Just not, no clients don't want to hear you trying to improve the breed. They don't want. They want what they want.
Right. That's something that we do, breeders. We got a question came in, but yeah, that's a good point. Hey man, you got to have a large sampling. I didn't know that you had that large of a sampling of dogs to choose from, but that's a good indicator of how you're able to have the best of the best as your premier breeding stock, and then you have the rest of the dogs that you test and evaluate, you measure, you scale up. You got a question came in though.
We're always buying dogs from other people.
Butcher Boerboel wants to know, how many males and females do each of us have? I'll start it off. I got 2 males that I run out of several different properties, and I got maybe 6 to 8 females that's included in our program. What about you, Southern Ohio?
I got 1 male and 6 females. 4 I bred myself, 2 I purchased, 1 from Savage Kingdom, 1 from 10 Club Boerboels.
Okay, Jason.
Here with me, I have 3 males and 11 females, and then again throughout the rest of the Savage Kingdom Boerboels Florida, Savage Kingdom Boerboels Midwest, Savage Kingdom Boerboels Louisiana, and Savage Kingdom Boerboels California. I think we're a little bit over 60, and so I think we have like 10 males and 40-something females just spread out between us. Again, you're only going to see those 6 or 7 that's the one the clients want. But then we have puppies that we keep. Some of them don't make our program. We have puppies that we buy. Some of them don't make the program. So we're always evaluating them, bring them up. And then we have the other ones that we're keeping that, okay, this is gonna, the next time we come back to this, it's gonna help and build on this. It's gonna get rid of, it's gonna straighten up the top line. It's gonna fix the tail set. It's gonna, this litter had rose ears that we kept this puppy from. We're gonna fix that. You know, little subtle stuff that we as breeders know that clients don't know. We got these dogs that we're going to bring back into the fold. And so I call it phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So we got our phases all the way out right now to 2027 of the breedings that we're doing behind the scenes that we're going to try to bring back in. So we're trying, that's part of being able to keep a lot of your stock or keep track of your stock to use it again.
Hey, and I think that's another
Sounds like
good
a
point
solid
that we should
plan.
mention for anybody that's aspiring to be a breeder. You have to be planning this out. You heard what Jason said. He's already talking 2027.
But yeah. If you're still, in just my opinion, if you're still trying to figure out your breedings for 2024, you're behind the power curve. I already, in my head, I already got these breedings planned out, and I'm thinking about the puppies that I will be producing from these 5 different breedings, and I'm keeping a male from this breeding, and I'm already in my head, I'm keeping females from these certain breedings, and I'm already thinking about it. If it works out right,
Right.
I'm bringing these back together with my Midwest has done the same thing. And my Florida has done the same thing. And my Louisiana has done the same thing. And so now we're bringing these all back in 2027. We're bringing them back in 2027. Kind of alluded to it with that natural selection with that, okay, this male was dominant in the South for this long. Now we're bringing this back in. Now this outcross or these generations are going to come back in if it works right. If knock on wood, if it works right. But like Mike
Right, knock
Tyson
on
say,
wood.
yeah, everybody got a plan till they get punched in the face.
Right. Because I sure was thinking about what I was in my plan with this last breeding. I've been looking for the black Balto. I've been going for the black Balto, but I gotta go for this my red boy that I kept back because hey, he's got everything that I'm looking for. Even though I'm looking for the black Balto, I'll take a red one. But the plan was to go for the black one, but you never know how I get there until you get there.
Until you get there, yes sir, yes sir.
We have one more question, and then we're gonna close out, fellas.
Okay.
Is it harder to breed for the bigger females to take?
Well, my females are all about 125 or smaller, so I wouldn't know.
I don't think it's harder for the bigger females to take. It's harder for in my opinion, it's harder for the more masculine females, those ones that look like males to breed. So those ones that look like males, oh man, they hard to breed. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
They're beautiful, but those softer females breed easier than those ones that look like a male.
Because they're not supposed to look like a male. That's why.
Yeah.
That's my ideal. Is
They
that
ain't supposed to look
feminine?
like no male.
Yeah, that petite girl. You know, that's my
Females
ideal.
supposed to look like females. Males supposed to look like males.
And that's the breed standard, and you're 100% right. That's how it's supposed to be. It's just clients don't want to buy those. So I'm trying to, it's hard, man. It's hard trying to do what's right and do what the clients want to. They want those male looking females.
Oh yeah, I get it.
It's hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I agree with what you said 100%. The females, the more masculine, the harder they is to breed. I see that if you study, look at some of the more masculine females without calling out no, but you'll see production is not as high with those more masculine looking females. What I
There's too
noticed,
much male DNA.
yeah, it's
That's
too much.
why.
They hormones is off.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna always go, and I'm gonna say this too: the larger females, the complication that I have with I have. Remember that one female was just 100 something, 70 something pounds that I had bred, and she was not the best mom. She didn't push all the puppies out naturally, and she kept picking the puppy up. It was just a nightmare litter. We took a straight L on that one from the top to bottom. We had to get the C-section on the emergency side. All the puppies that were in there, we lost the puppies, and then the 2 puppies that she had that survived, she ate them.
Man, that's rough, man.
Yeah.
I just had a litter similar that where I just took a complete L. I just had a breeding. I had 2 breedings roughly at the same time, and one of them was the best breeding I ever had. Produced me some Barak grand puppies, but it was actually another breeding. My only one Barak's had 16 litters now. And it was, this litter will be his 16th litter. This litter that I got due in 2 weeks will be his 16th litter. Man, his 15th litter was the first 14 were magic. The 15th litter was a disaster.
What happened?
The 15th litter, man, the puppies were born a little bit premature. It was just a rough pregnancy. The mom just didn't cooperate with nothing. No milk, didn't want to take care of them. Again, she went into labor at day, so she lost her mucus plug around day 54, 55, and we were just trying to, man, please let us just make it to day 59. I think we made it to might as well say 58, but those puppies, 7 puppies, man, 7 puppies, and I had been waiting for that litter. Only 3 of them survived, and 2.5 of those 3 survivors should have been culled. 2.5 of those 3 survivors should have been culled. So they're in some nice pet homes, man. And so yeah, man, it was a disaster, man. I don't know if it was because they were premature or just because Barak and that female didn't mix well together. But I'll never do that breeding again to find out. I'll never do that breeding again to find out. But
that's the same thing with me when I
Yeah.
bred dude Alpanda the same way. I'll never do that again.
Never do that. Never do that breeding.
It was
again.
18 of them puppies, one survived.
Yeah, that's yeah. And then
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna close out, y'all. I appreciate y'all all love, man. Really, this was a great show, man. I really appreciate y'all, man. I can't say that enough, man.
I'd love to do it again whenever you'd have me. So
hey, you know this is my first time going live on anything, brother. So you know that it means something, brother. That's why I came on here for you, brother. My first time.
Man, that's what's up, bro.
So
that's what's up, man.
I appreciate the knowledge you be kicking me on our one-on-ones, man. So I figured I would pay you, man. Come on here live for my first time. Southern Ohio Boerboel in the building, baby. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Come get your game, Boerboel. Don't be scared. They gonna know.
They ain't ready for that, bro.
Hey, Kingdom. It's going down. Should be coming in March. I'm gonna put together a big breeding for you.
Outstanding. Y'all know what y'all doing up there in Ohio, man. And again, man, I'm a big fan of both of you brothers, man. And I appreciate all our private conversations and our public conversations. So these are 2 brothers I talk to pretty frequently, and I appreciate it. I learn something from you guys all the time. So that's the good thing, man. I appreciate you brothers, man.
Thanks, bro.
I appreciate both of y'all brothers as well, man. Y'all brothers be safe.
Y'all too, man.
For sure. All right, man. Next, until we meet again, my friends. I appreciate everyone that stayed, and I hope that it was valuable for y'all. I really enjoy sharing with y'all. I can't wait to see y'all next week, man. Until then, stay busy with y'all guys, stay busy with y'all dogs, and do all that you can. Make the most out of every moment, because guess what? We don't know when ours are last. We don't know how long we got. We don't know. We're on a limited time schedule.
You got to start ending your show, man, with your catchphrase, man. You got to, at the end of all your shows, use your catchphrase. Who showed you first?
Right. They go to marketing. Hey, y'all, and don't forget, we got marketing tips coming in the We got all kind of game. We dropping dudes.
Hey, so before you log off, man, use your catchphrase, brother. Use your catchphrase.
That is fun. Don't miss out.
Yep.
All right, players, we out.
All right.
Next, thanks you, bro. Peace, y'all.
Peace.